one of the problems we have in Nigeria is that it's difficult to have solid metals for creative engineering. So what you basically have in this country are tubes for building of houses and erection of structures and all that. But when you come to real metals that you can carve to engine block, metal that you can carve to a shaft or gear, there is nowhere to get in this country. So a country that does not have a shop for metals to cut can never develop.
Good evening. You are watching Naija Live TV. Here are the top stories. Vice President Shettima backs federal tax reforms. Governor Diri advocates political inclusion for women. Kano Assembly begins impeachment process for its deputy governor. Iranian drone strike targets Azerbaijan's Nakhchivan region. And thank you for staying with us. I am Barbie Nkparu. Here are the main stories making the headlines. Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri received the 23rd Chief of Air Staff, the Air Marshal Sunday Kevin Aneke, at the government house in Yenagoa, marking a significant homecoming for the military chief. Air Marshal Aneke, who served in the state as the Air Officer Commanding AOC Mobility Command prior to his current appointment, was elevated to the position by the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Governor Diri congratulated the Air Marshal on his new role, noting that Bayelsa continues to be a fertile ground for senior military officers who serve with integrity. The governor emphasized that the relationship between the state government and the Nigerian Air Force remains exceptionally cordial, citing the military's immense contribution to the peace and security enjoyed across the state. Governor Diri remarked that the Air Marshal's promotion is a testament to his dedicated service and synergy with the people of Bayelsa during his previous posting, and expressed pride that officers who serve the state faithfully are frequently rewarded with higher national responsibilities, stating that good service leads to more service. Bayelsa State's Governor, Senator Doye Diri, has urged women across Niger Delta region to participate fully in politics, stressing that they should not be treated as second-class citizens. Governor Diri made the call while attending the Pan-Niger Delta Forum PANDEF Women Conference in Yenagoa, emphasizing that special seats in the assembly or other elective positions should not only be temporary solutions and not a permanent measure that reinforces their inequality. He highlighted the success of women in countries like Britain and the United States, noting that their political systems do not rely on special seats, and urged Nigerian women to demand total emancipation and equality in governance. Governor Diri also recounted his efforts to integrate more women into the Bayelsa State governance, noting progress in the state Executive Council and House of Assembly, while acknowledging challenges faced in achieving full representation. PANDEF National Women Leader, Reverend Mrs. Grace Ekong, called on women to acquire education, skills, and experience to actively participate in politics and contribute to regional development. The conference was attended by former First Lady of Nigeria, Dr. Patience Jonathan, Rivers State Deputy Governor, Professor Ngozi Odu, PANDEF National Chairman, Ambassador Dr. Godknows Bolade Gali, and representatives from women's group across the Niger Delta. Vice President Kashim Shettima has endorsed the federal government's tax reform strategy, saying it will improve Nigerians' quality of life while easing the burden of multiple levies on companies and low-income earners. Speaking at an interstate banking breaking of fast for Ramadan and Lent at the State House Abuja, Shetima, representing President Tinubu, emphasized that the measures are designed to promote economic growth, reduce poverty, and simplify the tax system for individuals and small businesses. The event was attended by members of the Federal Executive Council, the Central Bank Governor, presidential advisors, senior aides, and leaders of government agencies. The Federal High Court in Abuja has discharged and acquitted suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari of a 23-count charge of alleged non-declaration of assets filed by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. Delivering judgment, Justice James Omotosho held that the prosecution failed to provide sufficient evidence against Kyari and his two brothers who were accused of swearing false affidavits to conceal property origins. The judge noted that the agency did not tender credible documents linking Kyari to properties in Fountain Estate, Kasana, Linda Choko Road, Asokoro, or Maiduguri, Borno State. He further emphasized that ownership could have been established through traditional history, title documents, acts of possession, or possession by connection, none of which the prosecution presented. Kano State House of Assembly has commenced impeachment proceedings against its Deputy Governor Aminu Abdul Salam over alleged misconduct, abuse of office, and breach of public trust. A total of 38 lawmakers signed the notice, which was read by Speaker Ismail Falgori, who has directed that Abdul Salam be formally served in line with constitutional procedures. The move follows political tensions after Governor Abba Yusuf defected from the new Nigeria's People's Party to the All Progressive Congress last year, while Abdul Salam chose to remain with the NNPP. South Africa is exploring plans to manufacture a key HIV prevention drug locally as part of efforts to improve access to treatment and strengthen the country's pharmaceutical sector. The government is working with international partners, including Unitaid and United States Pharmacopoeia, to identify a domestic manufacturer capable of producing the long-lasting and long-acting HIV preventive medicine, lenacapavir. The drug developed the Gilead Sciences, which is administered as an injection twice a year and is regarded as a promising tool in global efforts to prevent HIV infection. Officials say local production could significantly reduce costs and expand access to the medication in South Africa, which continues to bear the world's largest HIV burden, with an estimated of over 8 million people living with the virus in the country. An Iranian drone attack has struck Azerbaijan's autonomous Nakhchivan region, opening another front in the ongoing conflict involved in the United States, Israel, and Iran. A statement by Azerbaijan's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ceyhun Bayramov, said one drone hit the terminal building of the airport in the Nakhchivan Autonomous Republic, while another fell near a school building in the village of Shakarabad. The government of Azerbaijan strongly condemned the attack, describing it as a drone strike launched from the territory of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Authorities said the incident injured 2 civilians and caused material damage to the airport facility. And a roundup of news as regards sports. Roundup of US-Israeli-Iran war so far sees tension in the Middle East intensified as fresh military exchanges were reported between Israel and Iran. Explosions erupted in Tehran following Israeli strikes, while Iranian attacks targeted Israel, prompting air raid sirens in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem as missiles were intercepted. Meanwhile, explosions were reported in Qatar and Bahrain, while Azerbaijan said it was struck with 2 Iranian drones. Additionally, a tanker in the northern Persian Gulf was damaged in what Iran described as an attack on a United States vessel. Again, efforts to evacuate foreign nationals have faced delays, and the UK organized repatriation flight from Oman, scheduled for last night, was postponed due to a technical issue and is now expected to depart later today, prompting frustration among its passengers. At the same time, in the United States, lawmakers voted down a measure that would have restricted Donald Trump from ordering further military action against Iran. The chairman of the Ijaw National Congress, Professor Benjamin Okaba, has clarified that he is not aligned with the indecisive stance of aspirants who had been already disqualified. He made the statement in Yenagoa during the Ijaw National Day procession, an event marking the inauguration of new executives who will oversee the Congress for the next 4 years. Professor Okaba further emphasized that electronic transmission of results will be employed to ensure a free, fair, credible, and transparent outcome. He called on those opposing the use of electronic voting to embrace the system and participate in the process. And that concludes the news on this hour. You have been watching Naija Live TV. My name is Barbie Mparu. Do have a great day ahead. And of course, stay tuned and stay glued with us. Good evening.
I've never midwifed. I only give responsibility to them, and I expect them to do the very best. So on this issue of qualification and disqualification, I'm making it clear as now that it wasn't they have not been communicated at all on the issue. Yes, that is the fact that was clearly explained to us during the stakeholders gathering. We're going to be electronic. Well, we don't know the reason why they are not comfortable, because all over that is the best. In anything.
One of the problems we have in Nigeria is that it's difficult to have solid metals for creative engineering. So what you basically have in this country are tubes for building of houses and erection of structures and all that. But when you come to real metals that you can carve to engine block, metal that you can carve to a shaft or gear, there is nowhere to get in this country. So A country that does not have a shop for metals to cut can never develop.